What a race. What a fucking race. Double retirement. Double retirement for McLaren Honda. Spent 2 tokens. 2 tokens on pure engine reliability. Reliability. And 2 retirements. It's just too fantastic, isn't it? It's just too damn good. Just great stuff. Just let's not even talk about the race, because you know we all know that was an absolute stunner, brilliant race. 10 out of 10. Fan-fucking-tastic. Oh my days. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. 2 retirements. And Alonso put it perfectly. Alonso hit the nail on the fucking head in the team radio during the race. Whoever is, Andrew Stella, whatever his engineer, just tells him, we need to do a bit more saving, fuel saving. And he just tells him to him straight. It was quite muffled, but essentially he just had one. He just he couldn't take it anymore, and he just said back to him, we're managing everything. The car's slow in a straight line. I can't do it in the corners. What else do you want me to manage? No, just let me race. Let me burn the fuel. I don't care. And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. The PR lines aren't good enough anymore. And trust me, you guys will know if you follow me on Twitter. If you do, by the way, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to talk with you guys when the race is on. It's always great to try and have some banter with you guys, and I appreciate it. But you guys know, over on Twitter, less so than people just here on YouTube, you guys know how much I do still keep faith in McLaren, because I do support Jenson Button, and I will support him till the last day he races, until he retires, and that means I have to support whatever team he's in. And I've had faith in McLaren. I've had faith, ever since we started having problems in 2013. But it's just never come. I've always had faith through the entire season that it'll improve. 2013, we didn't improve that much. We got solid 5th place, wasn't it? Our best position in the last race. Last year, it's better than this year. This year's just gone to just tank. That wasn't even a word. I know it's only 6 races in. Only 6 races in. There's plenty of this season to go, but I just don't see it happening this season. They were saying that we could maybe get a podium or get good points by the end of the season. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's just not. Unless a miracle happens, because we spent 2 tokens and got a worse reliability result. At least in Monaco, we finished 1 car. And albeit Monaco is a less engine demanding circuit, but we still finished 1 car and in the points. This race, we spend 2 tokens on reliability for the engine, and we have 2 retirements. Both engine related, I'm assuming, because no one was complaining about engine locking or, brake locking or whatever. There weren't no brake issues from McLaren this race, like some other teams were having to manage during the race. And it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. I agree and I understand and I completely do accept that McLaren, what they've been telling us, what Jenson and Fernando and all the engineers, Ron Dennis has been telling everyone in the media, that every single employee is pushing 110%. And I'm not denying that. I am not denying that. And I don't mean to undermine any of those hardworking men and women in the factory. But there has to come a line where we need to maybe step back and say, have we completely made the wrong sort of philosophy choice? Have we made the wrong strategy call for how we go about this? Because, I still disagree with what Ron Dennis said at the beginning of the season on Australia, that they're going to take things conservatively and they're going to make sure that every single thing they do is quality, not quantity. Well, that's not working for us, mate. That's not working for us. I think they just need to say, fuck it. Just, we'll accept the penalties. Just accept 30 place penalties, whatever it is. 30-second, 5 million second penalties. Just accept it all. But sacrifice it to try and develop this engine. Just go all out, all attack on the engine. And don't worry about the penalties. Just treat this like just a write-off season. Like we're going to get penalties every other race now. And just start developing that engine. Because Alonso was getting drag raced by Sebastian Vettel even before we got to the DRS detection point on the Canada straight. And that's just the speed. Then you obviously have the reliability, which has just gotten worse at Canada. The engine is thirsty as hell as well, because Fernando had to start fuel saving halfway through the race. It's just... I say it's not good enough, but to be honest, I'll come next race and I'll still have faith and I'll still support them because, that's just the kind of person I am. I'll just, I'll suck it up and keep supporting them because I support Jenson Button till the end, as I said, and he believes McLaren is going in the right direction, so I'm gonna have to stick by that. But just I want to see something. It's been 3 bloody years. 3 years. I've had to effectively I can't even talk. I've had to effectively be a neutral to the F1 Championship because my driver is just not in the fight. And as much as I can be like, oh, it's great. I can be completely I can look in with a completely neutral perspective and kind of just enjoy the racing for what it is, but. It's just so frustrating, and it's even more frustrating when the actual, let's talk about, being a neutral to the top fight. There is no top fight. In that race, there was really nothing. Rosberg had a sort of little push, but it really wasn't that much. I mean, there were, to be fair, some really nice overtakes in the midfield in that race, but, overall, for a Canada... it's all relative. For a Canadian Grand Prix, that was pretty dull. For a race this season, that was the best race so far this season in terms of action. But for a Canadian Grand Prix, that was a little bit on the dull side. A little bit more, actually. And everyone agrees on Twitter. All the big media sites, everyone pretty much that I'm seeing on my Twitter feed, at least, that I follow, is agreeing. It's, I think the best tweet was by Loose Wheel Nut that said, you got an issue when the Canadian Grand Prix is boring. But this is not a video about F1 being boring and whatnot and being fixed because that's a whole different shitstorm, which I won't get into. It's about McLaren, and it's just not good enough. Just not good enough. 2 retirements when we spent 2 tokens on reliability. And I just, I know it's not going to improve next race. It's going to be the same, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine to keep on keeping the faith, and I will keep the faith on because, as I said, I'll support JB till the end, and he's at McLaren right now, so I have to support McLaren, but I want to hear some proper non-PR responses, and I want to really know what's going on, and I want someone to at least admit that maybe this is not the right strategy right now. I don't think going conservative and only spending 2 tokens on reliability is the way to go about it. They said at the beginning of the season the McLaren car was all about being fast and sorting out the reliability out later. Well, newsflash, Ron Dennis, the car's not fast either. This engine is just not up to scratch, and going conservative is not going to make it go any faster. And we don't even know about the chassis. There's no way to tell if those aerodynamics are really any good because the engine's not up to speed. Aerodynamics works very differently at different speeds. And if the McLaren is going 20 kilometers per hour slower, that's going to make a little bit of a difference there. And we really don't know if the chassis is any good. And they need to pick up the pace, because the problem with engine development is if you make the engine a little bit faster, but not fast enough, all that's happening is that you're going to spin up your rear tyres more and overheat them more. You need to go even further to the development to really see some results. And right now, obviously, as I said, I don't want to undermine people working in the factory, and I know they're working flat out. But I want to hear a proper explanation. No more PR bullshit. We want to say it how it is, like Alonso did in that team radio. that just admit it. We've got issues, and you need to admit that, and you need to maybe rethink on how we're doing this conservative development. Quality over quantity. Well, I think the quality isn't even there. I think we just need all out, just everything we've got. Just keep on strapping things onto that car. Keep trying to develop it. And I know we're stuck because of the tokens. We've only got 7 left now because we spent 2 out of 9, which also, in my opinion, is a bit annoying and a bit unfair. Because, you know, even though Honda, you know, they theoretically got 1 entire year of free development over the other teams, it's really not. Because development on a dyno is not the same as development in a car strapped to a rear tyre, to you know, a crankshaft and making the car move. It's just not. But that's, again, a different debate. Just, I never make these kind of videos just because I'm not one to kind of state my opinion out there very harshly usually. Otherwise, it, you know, usually just doesn't do any good. But I felt the need to say this. And, you know, obviously, you know, tell me what you guys think. Obviously, I would, you know, really like to hear from fellow McLaren fans or fellow Button fans. In all honesty, just my opinion, if you're not a supporter of McLaren, if you haven't been for like the last 3 years, then maybe you know you can, you know, you may have a little view on it, but you know, I think the actual McLaren fans know what I'm saying here. They know the pain, and it's just great, just great, just 2 tokens on reliability, and we DNF'd 2 cars. Nah, just too legitimate. Great stuff. It's been aarava. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, or if you want to mock my pain. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for daily F1. There'll be 2 videos tomorrow. Goodbye. I'm now going to crawl into the corner of my room and cry myself to sleep.